Right, we spoke earlier this hour about the future of Kylian Mbappe, arguably the best player on the planet, but could he be on the move from PSG this summer? He has stunned the club by telling them that he won't take up the option to extend his contract by another year. Let's get more on this with the French football journalist Bruno Ahoyo, who joins us here on Sky Sports News. Good afternoon to you, Bruno. Thank you very much for speaking to us. I said that PSG were stunned by this letter they received from Mbappe. How big a surprise was it to you?
I think it's a huge surprise for everybody here in France and in French football. Nobody expected that, as the player said, as the football awards here late in May, 2 weeks ago. He said he was going to stay at PSG this summer and for the next season. So we didn't expect that at all. And there was this letter that Mbappe and his attorneys sent to the club yesterday, and that is a huge big bang here in Paris and in French football.
OK, so if, as you say, only 2 weeks ago at the awards ceremony, he said, I'm staying at the club, and now he hands in a letter saying he won't be taking up the option to extend his contract. What is going on here?
I think, first of all, I think he was very disappointed with how the season went on with PSG, with this Champions League early dismissal. I think he was very upset how the team played, how they were eliminated by Bayern, and I think the sporting direction in the club, the board isn't as effective as he would like to, and I think he's been disappointed. And anyway, when he extended his contract last summer, I think he told himself, and with his attorneys and his people, I think he thought, we'll sign for 2 years and we'll see how it is going on. And I think for him, PSG is not going forward. He wants to win big trophies, to succeed on the European scene, and I think he doesn't trust the PSG project.
So if he doesn't agree a totally new contract with the club, it would mean that he'd be out of contract next summer. So in theory, from January, he could start speaking about a move, and therefore could leave PSG for nothing. How likely is that to happen, do you think?
I think PSG won't allow this to happen. In Doha, the owners and the PSG board are very upset with that letter and what happened. The Mbappe's clan said in this letter he sent to the AFP that for him it's like damaging his image. So I think the hurt is very deep, and I think PSG will try to sell him this summer, because for the image, for how the Qataris see themselves, they can happen to have Mbappe leaving for free in next year and signing with another club in January. That's impossible. So the ending of this story would be selling this summer. I think that will be the main idea and the main goal for both clans this summer. Don't know if it will happen, but now, as today and for the next days, Mbappe is on the transfer market.
Wow. I mean, this is a player they paid £166 million for. There was also that talk of a move to Real Madrid a year or so ago for, what, €200 million is the sort of figure that was being bandied about. But a player with 1 year left on his contract, what sort of fee do you think PSG would therefore look to command for him?
I think I think he will. For the amount of money, I'm not sure, but I think many clubs are very interested, and I think if a good offer comes, PSG will let him go, and but of course that comes with a price tag, and an important price tag, of course. But if they can sell Mbappe and build another a more strong team, a more complete team, especially in the depth of the whole team, they will do it.
And, you know, we know about the talk of Real Madrid. It's been ongoing for 2 or 3 years. We know he loved the club as a boy. He had posters up on his wall in his bedroom. If he does go and he is sold, do you think that it's inevitable that he goes to Real Madrid?
I'm not sure. I think Real Madrid really appreciated and liked how Vinicius developed, and Mbappe he doesn't like to play as the target man up front as the number 9. He likes to play on the left, so that will mean Vinicius will have to leave his place on the pitch. So I think that's a huge debate, and I think that was the main reason he didn't go to Real Madrid last year. So, okay, Real Madrid wants him, but could he fit in the team? Now, as today, as how Real Madrid is developing, I'm not sure. But I think many clubs will be interested, and I think in England, Mbappe could be interesting to come in England. I don't think it could be Manchester United because of who the new owners are going to be. But I think he would be very, very interested and very all ears to hear what can be offered to him in the Premier League, in the big four, if we are specific.
Yeah, and Liverpool have been mentioned in the past, haven't they? It'll be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, generally, with him potentially leaving, Bruno, this summer, you know, Messi on the move, Ramos going to, still talk about Neymar and uncertainty over his future. This feels like it's going to be a very big summer at PSG. Is there going to be a big rebuild, do you think?
Every summer, it's a big rebuild with PSG. I think that's a team very unstable, with the owners very unhappy to see their team not delivering in the Champions League, not being in the last four regularly. So it's always a revolution. It's always a huge crisis in PSG. In Paris, we have that crise de November crisis. That's an annual November crisis that happened at PSG. There is always, before the Qatari owners, there is always a crisis in November at PSG. So anyway, as the question is simple, the issue is simple. The Qatari owners are not happy with how PSG is performing on the European scene. So as long as it is this way, they will rebuild and buy players again and again every summer until they succeed, and change the coaches, etc., and so on.
And finally, in terms of that rebuild and possible players moving into Paris Saint-Germain, what do you know about the talk of Wilfried Zaha, Crystal Palace? Is he on their list?
He is on their list, but Luis Campos, the sporting director of PSG, he usually prefers young players that he can develop, or confirmed players that used to play regularly in the Champions League. That's not the case of Wilfried Zaha, who is a great, very good player in the Premier League, in the Prem, of course. But Kang In-lee, the Korean, the South Korean winger of Mallorca, is the priority of the club right now for these spots, and they are more keen to make that deal with Lille, who is coming closer, and eventually, if they do Lille, they do this deal with Lille, they will be interested in Zaha. But Zaha is not Wilfried Zaha is not the big priority for PSG for the moment. If he comes, he will be an additional player, not a star player that will be expected to start every game.
Bruno, that's all been really interesting. Thanks so much for your insight live from Paris this afternoon. Speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.